accelerating progress towards sustainable development goals. When we speak about the artificial intelligence, many doubts come to our mind. And we know that there are many for and against argument with regard to the artificial intelligence and its uses. When we speak about the use of artificial intelligence in framing the economic policies, how far we can do it. To my knowledge, economic policies are technically driven. Technology is having supremacy at present. So without technology, development may be hit hard. So to promote the economic policy, we can integrate the artificial intelligence. Now my topic, how we can integrate the artificial intelligence to accelerate the economic development, keeping in mind the sustainable development goals. When we see the various Millennium Development Goals and 8 International Development Goals, which we were expected to achieve and reach to its maximum by 2050, a doubt arises whether it is possible. Have we achieved the goals here? The answer may be no. In that case, how we can go very fast in this direction? Whether by 2030, India will be able to have the second biggest, strongest nation in the world, $5 trillion economy. Yes, my answer is yes. We can achieve the $5 trillion economy by 2030 when we are going to integrate the technology, particularly artificial intelligence, into our developmental goals. When we speak about the development, we know that the Sustainable Development Goals and the Millennium Development Goals, they speak about removal of poverty and hunger. I'm not specifically speaking about India, I'm generalizing to the global level and reducing poverty to a large extent. How? Is it through agriculture or increasing the nutrition programs, or how we have to remove the hunger? Nobody should die of hunger. We have seen yesterday and the day before yesterday in the newspapers that the Gaza Patti children, because of Russian invasion, they lost their parents. And there we see that the children were begging for the food there. It speaks that whether global hunger is able to be eradicated. In India, we might be able to increase the agricultural production, and we might be able to have this removal of hunger to a great extent and reduction of poverty also. In this respect, how artificial intelligence can reduce the poverty level, how it can increase the agricultural production. For anything, we need data. The global buzzword so far today was big data analysis. Unless you have got data, you cannot analyze, you cannot achieve, you cannot expect, or you cannot project your ideas. So we have to project. If there are lacuna, if there are any aspects which are hindering economic development, we have to correct it. For that, we need data analysis. So artificial intelligence is nothing but the data, the large, huge data, which we are going to analyze, which we are going to see, and which we are going to project. In the same way, if you speak about the second goal of universal primary education, in education field, lot of things are changing. Now we know that at higher level, higher education, there is a lot of technology development in research and in medicine. But at the primary education, whether we are able to introduce the revolution through innovation, through technology, through artificial intelligence, we shall see now. Whatever progress we do, it should promote the gender equality and empowerment of women. When we speak, nearly 50% of the population in the world is for women's empowerment, and for women, we have to see that not only the gender equity, but also empowerment, how this can be done through artificial intelligence. So these things promote economic development, how we can use the artificial intelligence. Not only these aspects, the child mortality is very, very important. How we can use artificial intelligence for the project, for the reasons for this, what are the reasons for the death of children below 1 year? So child immortality, how we can achieve, why there is a mortality, what are the reasons since a very long period, whether we have improved our health programs are able to increase what is immortality of the children. So artificial intelligence will be a great tool to achieve this goal also. Apart from this, we know maternal health is very, very important. That can also be done through artificial intelligence tools. And when we have all these things, it's natural that improvement in health is possible. A very great research is impossible. Telemedicine and telecommunication and teletreatment is possible. We can use this artificial intelligence to combat the diseases like HIV, AIDS, malaria, and whatever the diseases that are going to haunt the globe. Very important is always there is a dichotomy. There is a, what is called as the argument about economic development and environment. So environmental sustainability one should keep in mind. That's very easy through artificial intelligence to monitor the environment. We see that lots of changes are going because of the so global warming. Now the seasons are changing. The rainy days are changing. And we need that, we see that floods are there and cloudbursts are there. Whether we are able to precisely see and the data and analyze everything through artificial intelligence, whether we are able to have the sustainability in the environment. Yes, it is possible. Apart from this, now the global equations are changing, you know that. America says that we are going to put 50% of the tariffs on the goods imported from India. It is true with regard to the China also. Out of the 210 countries in the world, the two big countries are China and India. Many times we speak that they are rivals. Now we know the recent developments since 8 days. China and India, they are not rivals, they are partners. I am telling that the equations are going to change. When we just came out of the clutches of the America and leaned towards the Russia, naturally America became alert. And when we are going to have the progress with regard to this economic development and various activities with China, the global equations are changing. So we know that India is very good in software and China is very good in hardware. And for this artificial intelligence, we need both hardware and software. India is a super country with regard to the software, and China is very super with regard to the hardware. So these two combined, China with India, hardware and software, we can dominate the world. Artificial intelligence, which is going to dominate the technology, which is going to dominate the economic development. If we have got this global partnership, develop a global partner for development. How? Through technology, through artificial intelligence, through use of these methods, it is possible that we will be able to progress at a faster rate. And when we speak about all these things, and we speak about this, the global, say, health and global well-being and quality education, gender equity, as I said, clean water and sanitation. Most of the diseases are due to this, the water, drinking water problem and sanitation. So when we speak about this, how we can use artificial intelligence in providing the clean water, how it can be done, we will see. Clean energy is also very important. We can see through artificial intelligence that how we are able to use the solar energy, the tidal energy, how much is available, how it can be produced and how it can be distributed. So distribution is very important, clean energy production and distribution. So distribution equally to the areas where it is very much required can be gauged through this artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, my dear friends, it is nothing but a small machine, which was earlier a robot. Now it is in your hands. Artificial intelligence. When you open your WhatsApp, you will see that to find out anything, earlier you used to go to this Google, you have to go to Wikipedia. Now the AI will come, artificial intelligence. It will take all the information and it will provide whatever you want. So it is going to give the precise answer to your questions. So in this way, it is possible that many of the problems can be very easily solved through this artificial intelligence. Social media is creating a wide impact on the society. And particularly when we speak about artificial intelligence, we know this in future, it is going to dominate the social media also. It's already there. People are misusing it. It's a different aspect. Let us see that how positively that we can use the artificial intelligence is very, very important. And people should have decent work. Decent work means that not many hours of work, not the unhygienic conditions where they work. Particularly when we speak the small workers, like the people who are going to supply the food through the food chain that we have got, Zomato and others, the gig workers we call them. Very important is that our software engineers are very good, the government employees are very good, and farmers and gig workers, they are in problem. For gig workers, how many gig workers are there? What type of facilities we can provide, how much they require, what they need. That's very, very important. So for decent work, artificial intelligence will be able to see that what is the requirement, how many number of gig workers are there, and how decently they can work in their place can also be done through artificial intelligence. Now coming to the industry, so semiconductors are very important in any kind of the modern equipment. We lag in the production of semiconductors. We import semiconductors. All computer items, they require semiconductors. We are unable to produce the required amount of semiconductors in our country. So how this can be utilized, how we can change the import structure, how we can very easily import the semiconductors for using this artificial intelligence. See, artificial intelligence, basically it was in the form of a robot. One in 1975, 1978, when I was in Gangotri, Manasa Gangotri, studying economics ME here, the department of the mathematics, they got two big computers. No, the computers were the size of big Almira. And there was a problem in 1975 to say that where to keep these two big computers, Almiras. Then the statistics department said that we don't want. Mathematics department in Gangotri, they said we don't want. And they finally took it to this the library. Now the computers which were the first generation were of very big size. Now it's the fifth generation. We call it as 5G. 5G. What is fifth generation? At your fingertips that you have got the information. At your fingertips, you have got the technology in your hands. So industry, what we call it as the industry 4, whether we can go towards industry 5 is very important. Technology is changing rapidly. And most of the industries, they are adopting the artificial intelligence. So through artificial intelligence, whether it is Infosys or whether you take into consideration whatever software say, giants are there, they are using this artificial intelligence. People say artificial intelligence will reduce the jobs. No, my dear friends, I tell you that as economists, we should think that artificial intelligence is going to create new type of jobs. When the computers came, people thought that the typewriting industry will go away. Yeah, it might be. Typewriters might have gone background. But you know this, how much these computers and related Xerox and all those things that we have developed. In the same way, the job opportunities will also be very high. It may be the matter of argument. You can ask a lot of questions with regard to this point, whether they are going to increase the job opportunities. Yeah, I say that it can increase the job opportunities, industry, innovation, innovative implementation and innovation. They should go together. Infrastructure. How much infrastructure? What type of infrastructure? Roadways, airways, railways, all type of the transportation and the required infrastructure, how it can be generated through artificial intelligence. Reduction of inequalities and removal of poverty, that can also be done, I tell you, later. And sustainable cities. Now we know smart cities in Gujarat, gift city, gift GIFT, gift city, first time that came in Gujarat. And every state has got its own capital as the smart cities. Sustainable cities and communities. How sustainable we are? Are we self-sustainable? Or how we are depending upon others that we can have through artificial intelligence. And now coming to the present day, we know people are buying the commodities, whatever they want. As an economist, I say that that's what we call it as this buying spree. Whatever they see, they buy. So responsible consumption, not that the higher level of consumption, required amount of consumption and required amount of production. Sometimes we know that the production of the tomato by the farmers and the production of the agricultural products, they will not be able to market it. So in that case, that what should be the sustainable production? What should be the sustainable consumption that we can generate through artificial intelligence? Climate action at a global level and life below water. If life below water changes, the life above water also changes. That's very, very important. And life on the land, that's an environmental issue. Peace and justice and strong institutions. Gunnar Myrdal said that economic development means the development of institutions. It is called the institutional development. How we can build the institutions. So how we can have the global partnership, how we can achieve our goal for the strong institutions, peace and justice. Donald Trump says that he is trying to establish peace globally by bringing together the war between the Ukraine and also Russia. It's not very easy. Global partnership is very, very important. How we can do that? Whether artificial intelligence is able to do this, it is definitely possible. Research has to be done that how we can use the artificial intelligence. And I told you partnership also. So now we shall see, we are open to question me because whatever I say, it is possible. It is possible. I am not telling the negative aspects of artificial intelligence in the economic development. Take one example of the sustainability in agriculture. How agriculture can use this artificial intelligence. So soil condition. I did my PhD on the wasteland development. I did it some 30 years back. I did not have the data about to analyze the wastelands. Whatever limitation was there, in that limitation, I did my PhD. Now you can do plenty of research on this. Soil conditions at a different stages, at a different levels, at a different weather conditions, at a different rainfall, how the soil conditions change and how, what type of products, what type of goods and products can be produced in this soil can be analyzed. Weather pattern, expecting the weather pattern and crop health, how crop health can be maintained. how products can be kept for very long period, storage is possible, and irrigation, wastage of water is there. How much water that we are producing, and how much water that we are having, how much we are utilizing, how much agriculture is able to take. So water logging should not happen. This can be analyzed through artificial intelligence. Again, my dear friends, please note that you should have sufficient quality, quantitative data. Data is very important. If you collect the wrong information, if you don't have proper data, your results in any case for the economic progress will be hampered. Fertilizer use, no, we import the chemical fertilizers even at present. How it is possible to use what is called as this micro fertilizer, use of micro fertilizer. Nanotechnology can be used in fertilizer use. It is possible that one using in agriculture. If it is successful, you need not have fertilizers. Continuously, automatically, whatever the soil is there, it is going to generate the qualities of a fertilizer. So in that way, pest control, another great problem. These things can be very easily expected, very easily forecasted, analyzed through the artificial intelligence, so that the progress in agriculture will yield higher crop yields and income for the farmers and very good food prices to the consumers also. You know that the taxes they are going to reduce, GST they are going to reduce. That is also there. Apart from that, how prices can be reduced by increasing the production. That is very, very important. So robotics and drones that we are using at present, and planting. So shortly in Bangalore, they are using the drones to transport people from one place to another place, because it takes 2 hours to go from Majestic to airport in Bangalore. Through drones, within 10 to 15 minutes, they can go there. Probably in 3, 4, 5 years, the drones are coming. So here, like planting, plant health and weeds, where the weeds are there, what is the say pest control that we can use it, and harvest when and how much to be done. So this can be done through data analysis. So data analysis are very, very important at present. So in this way, the artificial intelligence can be useful for agriculture, and in that way the production of agriculture increases. The problem in economic policy is optimizing resource allocation. So when we see that with regard to the poverty analysis, we can analyze through AI the data sheets where the highest poverty rates are there, where resources like food, healthcare, and education are most needed. So we can try to reallocate the resources to that particular area. Artificial intelligence can be very useful in this way. Apart from this, we know that the aid distribution, aid is not properly distributed at present. How much for which area? We know how this food chain will work. Whatever you see, the Zomato or whatever it, how they are going to distribute within 10 minutes. You know, grocery you will get within 10 minutes to your house. Most of the online companies, they say whatever you want within 10 minutes. How? So they have got the stocks at a very close point in different places. Whenever there is an order, immediately. One of my friend, he wanted some napkin for his children during 11:30. I asked, how do you get it? See, within 10 minutes, they got the napkins. Within 10 minutes. So what I mean to say that whatever it is, agriculture or whatever is industrial production, whatever is there, that can be very well planned through data. And we know that it's very easy that the distribution of all resources is evenly possible through data analysis. Apart from this, the greatest problem, hindrance for economic development is corruption. How artificial intelligence can be used for reducing the corruption? Say if it is open, say I tell you, now in Karnataka particularly, that e-khata. E-Khata, earlier they used to go to the corporation, they used to go to the various Mandal Panchayat, and they used to get it done at a very late stage and paying bribe and all those things. Now they have made it online. Now because they have got the data, how much per day they can provide the e-Khata. What I mean to say here is that in all the ways, it is possible that resource can be best used through artificial intelligence. Apart from this, we can see that uh, the education, when we see the education, here also we see this personal learning experiences. We speak always the learning and unlearning. Unlearning is also very important. So the platforms, adaptive learning platforms, we already know that so far many very big companies have come up to give the online coaching for the various competitive examinations. In that way, that at higher level and at the primary level also, it is possible that education can be taken to the higher levels. What we speak of HDI, that Human Development Index, one is about this education. We speak about mainly that we are going to speak about this human development. So likewise, health, and we know that the income generation. So AI tools can be very easily used for diagnosing the illness. No, during 2019 and 2021, we had this corona. Many people lost their lives. And it says that the effect of corona is still persisting because many immediate heart attacks that we are seeing. No, AI tools can very easily say that whether it is because of this, say, corona, this type of health conditions are there, or because of some other reason. So in health sector also, the artificial intelligence can play a very magical role. And new type of treatments, how it can be done, can be generated through the artificial intelligence. Apart from this, we can see this the use of language in learning and in economic development. The greatest problem is the problem of language. So we know multi languages are used in artificial intelligence. My dear friends, I have got 5 Facebook accounts in same mobile, 5 Facebook accounts. In one Facebook account, most of my subscribers are from China, around 2000. There are Chinese. Sir, I used to have the communication, contact with them in Chinese language. Do you know how? Very easy. Use artificial intelligence. Whatever is there in Chinese language, very easily, immediately it will be translated. You might be having in your mobile also. Whatever is in English can be easily translated into Tamil or Telugu, whatever is there. Likewise, it can have what is called as the large language models. We call it as LLM. So this is the greatest achievement. Achieving learning at a primary level through different languages. Language will not be a barrier. Long back when I went to an international conference in New Delhi, economics, Indian Economic, International Economic Association, there were nearly 20 participants from Japan and 10 participants from China. Out of 10 participants from China, only one knew the English. From Japan, only two knew the English. But they spoke and we just listened to them. Do you know how? Vigyan Bhavan, we were taken to Vigyan Bhavan, and they were giving the lecture in Chinese language, and we were sitting here, and this table will have 5 buttons. When they speak in Chinese, if you put the button Yi, you will be listening in English. And if you put the language H, you'll be listening in the Hindi. And only 3 to 4 languages. Now you can have 13, 14, 15, 20 languages simultaneously, which can be very easily translated. That's the greatest achievement. Learning and communication, all these things will be revolutionized through what is called as this artificial intelligence. And apart from this, always we speak about the inclusive development, particularly the financial inclusion. Now, Janthan, we've opened plenty of accounts. Now, I read in the newspapers that more than 5 lakh Janthan accounts are inoperative. So we achieved that without any deposit, one can open the Janthan account. Now, the data says that how that can be activated. What are the reasons why people are not using it? So likewise, even people who are unable to know the knowledge of the computers, they can be included. Take, for example, UPI, Unified Payment Interface. My dear friends, that in my mobile, I have got payments which can be made through 7 methods. I use Paytm and I use the Phone Pay, or I use the WhatsApp message here. What I'm trying to say is that how the digital transaction can reduce the use of printing of notes and coins. To print a note, how much cost, as an economist. You print a coin, you must know how much it will cost to print a coin. So in that way, the digital transactions are going to create a revolution, financial inclusion. Even a small push card person who is going to have a vegetable selling, he will have what is this card where you can scan and make the payment. So this can be revolutionized through artificial intelligence. How much people, how many transactions that they are. It has got negative effects also. People who know how much transactions they're doing, and people were asked to pay GST. Those who are doing the business about 20 lakhs and for those drawbacks are there. But still, financial inclusion is possible through the technology, particularly artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence platforms can provide the financial literacy. Definitely. Apart from this, they can have their own wealth, the investment criteria they can know. So likewise, we can know that the capability. Amartya Sen said that the development is the capability approach. So capable, make people capable, self-sustainable development. So it will not come from outside, it is within. It is within. So as I said earlier, out of 210 countries, the superpowers will be in future India and China. So out of this, say 740, 800 crores population, around 140, 243 crores are in India, and 1 crore less in China. We are first. So the whatever market is there is in China and India. Out of the 210 countries, out of 840 crore population, you see this 1/5 of the population is in China and India. That's why I said in the beginning that China hardware and India software have the global partnership, have to try to develop whatever is called as the artificial intelligence. Now, iPhone production, the main Fox production, which is in China, they have shifted to Bangalore now, and the production has started, the production of iPhones there. So this analysis of data will see this, how technology can be used for the economic progress. So likewise, we know that the artificial intelligence is of much useful. Universal primary education that we speak always, quality of education, the cost of education is very important. And we have to use plenty of tools to teach the students how best we can use them through artificial intelligence is very important. So when we say universal education, we have to train the teachers in the primary level. One of my student, she did a PhD on the what is called as the hot food in schools, BC UTA, we call it as, which is provided through the ISKCON and its impact on the school education. We did a research on that. In health also, we did a research with regard to the working of the primary health centers in Karnataka, a case study of Mysore district. Long back we did it. We did not have the proper data to analyze. Now you get plenty of information. We did a PhD work on what is called as the impact of global slowdown of 2008 and later on the banking industry. Yes, this is a particular reference to SBI in Karnataka, particularly Mysore district. We did it. We did it. Now this financial analysis, data analysis is very easy through this artificial intelligence. Now, primary education, because one of the important goals of this SDG is the universal primary education, how teachers can use AI in the classrooms. So what type of artificial intelligence, what level of artificial intelligence we can use it for kids? And apart from this, how we can use artificial intelligence to converse with the students, how we can use the AI apps. So examples of AI where it can be used in the schools. How can teachers use the planned lessons through artificial intelligence? What are the best uses of? So this research has to be done in this field also. particularly if you want to improve the universal primary education, where research has to be done in this field. So when we speak about this AI in education, the important goal of sustainable development, universal access, how it is possible. Bernard Moore, he says that it can enhance universal access to education by various ways. How? They say that make a global classrooms available to all. Person will be teaching there in America and you will be listening here. You can be interacting. Now we are using the Zoom. We can use this classroom also for the interacting session. Apart from this, we can use the language I told you earlier. If a Chinese person speaks in China, within a fraction of a second, you can listen in your language here, not in English, but in Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, whatever language, Indian languages you want, you can just listen. You know that when you speak of the languages, it's not a problem for economic development. Most of the European countries, they don't use English there. If you go to France, very few people they speak English. Germany also, very few people they speak English. As I said, even Japan and China, they don't use the English there. They have got their own language. So the knowledge is very important. How you are going to analyze is very important. So in that way, the language barrier can be very easily eradicated through artificial intelligence. So global classrooms, a good concept. Now we have got all this, what is called as this laptop and all this, the keyboard. In future, you'll not be having the keyboard. Whatever you just think automatically or through artificial intelligence, it comes. Okay, Google, open about this, say what is called as Millennium Development Goals. It will open. And you did not have even this screen also. Say you will have what is called the virtual pictures. So you know that because of this OTT and all those things, the film theaters will close down. No, they have not been closed down. The theaters, they are running as usual here. What I meant to say here is this. The use of artificial intelligence in learning is very, very important, either in higher education or in research or primary education. I cannot take up all the 17 and 18 goals and analyze one by one. I'm taking only a few of it to see how artificial intelligence can use its tools for the economic development. Apart from this, we know that particularly for the visually impaired, very, very important. Visually impaired, those who cannot listen, those who cannot see, they can be very easily use these artificial intelligence tools to learn. Apart from this, we know that students may not be able to attend the class due to the illness, and there may be absence also here. So we see that students who require learning at different level on a particular subject that is not available in their own school can be learned through the artificial intelligence. So gender equity, I told you that how gender equity can be promoted. That's very important, very, very important. When almost 50% of the population is men and women, how it can be done. So gender equity in several areas, particularly education, healthcare, social issues, and in the workplace, it can help to identify and address gender bias. We know that recently one film actor that was teased in social media, but they have been caught. The source of the information was caught. So gender equity, they can maintain their dignity. Women can maintain their dignity. If any attack on the women liberation and in the freedom of women or insult to the women, that can be very easily identified through artificial intelligence and equal access to opportunities. I told you that Amartya Sen, whatever he said, is that this capability and access is very, very important. And we can empower women through personalized support and resources by using the artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Apart from this, what I mean to say here is when we see the sustainable development goals, child mortality is very, very important. We know that all are not immortal mortality. There are plenty of reasons for this mortality of the children. the children who die within 1 year or up to 5 years. What are the reasons? So we can predict and identify high risk pregnancies and infants. We can generate the data. We can see this, what are the reasons, whether it is hereditary or whether it is due to the external factors, why it is happening, and optimize the healthcare resources. And wherever, whoever need it, they can. We have got ASHA workers in the villages. And they are also now using the small mobile to track the health conditions of the pregnant woman. And malnutrition is the greatest problem which hinders the economic development. How malnutrition? What are the reasons? What type of food that they are taking? How much they are taking? How many calories which food has got? What type of food should be given? Very easily can analyze through the artificial intelligence. And birth complications that can be seen. So large data sheets are very, very important. This artificial intelligence can provide insight into the healthcare and provide us timely information it will give, and it will give the interventions also, and what will be the outcome of this can be generated through artificial intelligence. So whenever the resources are limited, then we can use to the maximum through artificial intelligence. So predicting complications among the women, pregnant women, and the child, algorithms. My dear friends, artificial intelligence is nothing but an algorithm. What is algorithm? Data, one after the other, how they are chainly linked to each other. It is called as the algorithm. It's nothing but the data. So they can large amount of medical data. We know this transcription has come 20 years back to India. What is transcription? The doctor in America, he works morning to evening, and night he will shut and go. All the data is shifted to India. During night, our software engineers, they produce the data and they analyze it, and they will just resend it back to their say data in the doctor's computer there. So this is medical transcription. So whatever is medical transcription is there, the ideas will be turned into the words, and the information is already done 20 years back. This kind of health diagnosis and health analysis can be done through the data analysis, which is artificial intelligence. Apart from this, we know this hypersensitive disorders among women, pregnant women, prematurity, low birth weight, that can be very easily analyzed. So risk in infants can be taken into consideration. So proactive and tailored care plans can be made. So apart from this, child growth monitoring can help field workers quickly to identify children suffering from malnutrition. So likewise, I told you that resource allocation can be very easily done to reduce the say mortality of the children and increase the health of the pregnant women. So high risk infant mortality, I told you, clinical care and treatment can be done here. So in this way, real-time monitoring is very important. Real-time monitoring, on time that you should give the help. So AI technologies can monitor pregnant mothers and babies in real time. Life-saving interventions can be done. So decision making is done very easily through these AI tools. So decision making of healthcare products by offering insights and supporting them, making informed choices, different choices, A or B or C or D, whatever is this, what is the best choice that we can be taken to protect the child and pregnant woman. So maternal health, I told you repeatedly that the pregnant woman and after birth and before birth, the data can be analyzed through AI powered tools, and it is possible that the what is the risk that they are facing, how it can be reduced. Apart from this, access to care to remote areas is possible. So likewise, we can achieve many of the goals of sustainable development through artificial intelligence. So, apart from this, reducing the various deadly diseases. So, it is going to see that various tools are used in artificial intelligence through the data collected from various sensors. identifying the features that contribute to malaria outbreaks, and what can be done, how long it is there, at what season, at what extent, to what is the depth of the disease. So this can be analyzed through the artificial intelligence. My dear friends, I am not an expert in artificial intelligence. I only read in business news, the Economic Times, and various science magazines that how rapidly artificial intelligence is changing. You see plenty of changes. We already see that people are working from home. They have saved a lot of space there. In that way, artificial intelligence can be a revolution in within 2 years. Within 2 years, and with regard to the environment, if we speak, one of the important aspects of the sustainable development goals with regard to the what is called as this production and dichotomy between the manufacturing, production, and environment. How we should go together. Society, environment, and people, along with production, they should go together. So, environmental monitoring of disease prevention. Apart from this, we have to analyze the pollution levels. Delhi is having highest pollution, and now see Yamuna River is overflowing. What is the reason there? What are the barriers, and how we have misutilized the rivers? To what extent that can be diverted? Why this, as I said earlier, the cloud bursts will happen in northeastern states, in Himachal Pradesh. Why these landslides will happen? What are the reasons? What is the soil quality? You can use artificial intelligence through the data available. 100, 500,000 years data, that you can see that how long this rocks and soil can sustain, that you can predict. They can take action against this climate data. Apart from this, when the conditions are going to worse, what will happen? And individuals and vulnerable health conditions, if they persist, precautions can be taken through artificial intelligence. Diagnosis is very important than giving or curing the disease. Diagnosis. Many times people will go to 2 to 3 doctors to confirm whether the disease is there. So diagnosis is very important. As I said earlier, artificial intelligence algorithms, you can analyze the medical images, X-ray, to the pinpoint, to the minute micro point, they can analyze, which is not possible through human eyes. That's the use of artificial intelligence. You can expand it and minutely you can analyze the health conditions, MRI scans, CT scans, and anomalies, what might be there in the human eye. So likewise, we see this cancer, the greatest death grow to the people, which cannot be predicted. People do not know why the cancer comes. Artificial intelligence will be very useful. I'm telling this point of health mainly because of this sustainability. One of the aspects that we see in what is called as this SDG and Millennium Development Goals. So likewise, we see that artificial intelligence is very useful in renewable energy. In Karnataka, in Pavagada, plenty of lands of the government has been given for the production of the solar energy. But now 30% to 40% it is not utilized. Why? The reasons can be analyzed through AI. The monitoring, how much it generates, how it can be controlled, the energy produced and energy transmitted and energy saved, that can be done. How many houses they have this own what is called as this energy sources through this what is called as this solar energy. Renewable energy can be very tidal energy, whether it is possible. Wind energy, we can produce wind energy at plenty of places. So how this can be monitored? That is through artificial intelligence. Biodiversity conversion. The greatest problem is this non-degradable aspects in environment, which will create the poison in the environment. Biodiversity conversion, how we can automatically, naturally, as it was happening, how human ingenuity, how human intelligence through artificial intelligence can convert some of the poisonous products which are not biodegradable into the biodegradable and different biodiversity. So waste reduction and management. Environment, when we speak about this waste, plenty of waste. Generating waste is a problem. Now this is what is called as this mechanical waste, hardware waste, how it can be reused. So waste reduction and waste management. Climate change, as I said earlier, this that can be predicted and it can be prevented. And climate modeling, what can be the model for the climate and prediction. Disasters, how it can be prevented, when it happens, why it happens, and sufficient and proper management and use of energy. And likewise, we can have this sustainable transportation also. Sustainability, when we speak environmental sustainability, one of the goals of this what is called as the sustainable development and economic development, these environmental issues has to be addressed. How to address these environmental issues? By using the artificial intelligence, by using the data. That is very important. So environment impacts the health. uh, Many say that greenhouse gas emissions is increasing. Why this greenhouse gas increases? What is the quality and what is the quantity? What are the reasons? What are the sources of greenhouse effect? That can be very easily identified through artificial intelligence. I said earlier, there is a requirement for what is called the partnership, global partnership. I said China and India, likewise, global partnership in artificial intelligence. And it's a multi-stakeholder, and now it is turning into the profit generating economic activity, but it should be non-profit. How it is possible? There are NGOs, there are philanthropists, there are companies, there are many global institutions and many global production institutions, and they are able to have what is called as this non-profit use of this artificial intelligence without higher cost. So likewise, 100 partner organizations all over the industry have been called by United Nations through civil society and academia to explore and help address the social implications of artificial intelligence technologies. Now they are trying to see this, how it is going to impact. So that is also very, very important here. So, as I said, the United Nations goals, whether 8 goals or 18 goals, that can be used through artificial intelligence. Optimization of resources, I told you, and efficiency can be increased, as I said earlier. Data-driven insights, everything is depending upon the data. So, particularly, I told agriculture, healthcare, education, energy, environmental protection, likewise. So, here we see poverty reduction, I said in the beginning itself. So we know job matching services in agriculture, in low income areas, and improving economic inclusion, like financial inclusion. Another goal of SDG is zero hunger, less wastage of food, proper utilization of food, proper consumption of required food. They can be analyzed. So precision farming, not overuse of water, not overuse of fertilizers, not overuse of chemicals. How much is required? That can be very easily predicted. Crop yield can be predicted, so that supply chain management will be very easy through artificial intelligence. And also, we know that the timely intervention through artificial intelligence. Regarding the 3 and 4th goal, we know this healthcare, I told you, that tools can support remote patients also. And quality of education can be improved. And climate action, I said earlier, climate modeling and forecasting can be done. So we know that climate data will improve climate models. What are the new renewable energy optimization is possible through artificial intelligence? Sustainable cities. So we know that traffic flow. Sir, I have been to China before this COVID 2018. In Shanghai, each and every person who is in the street is recorded. I'm telling you about 2018 is recorded. His entire movement. Why there is no terrorism in China is that every movement is recorded there. Now they are very fast, very fast. Transport management is very good in China. So likewise, we know that the reduction of environmental pollution, traffic management, and efficiency in buildings. We see high-rise buildings in Shanghai. Do you know the reason? There is a specific rules in China that the amount of the foundation they put, they should be certified by this communist government before they to enhance the number of the high-rise buildings. Apart from this, simulation is the artificial expectation. Or simulation is very easy. Simulation. Through simulation, we can make the policies. I was telling about the goal 12, responsible consumption. Supply chain optimization is very, very important. As I said that they can support circular economy activities. Circular economic activities. Life below water, goal 14 and 15. We know that these satellite images are very useful. Now we have got plenty of satellites. And Starlink is entering now in India. Elon Musk, please note that. Elon Musk Starlink is entering. It may be very costly per individual house, maybe 3,000 rupees, but the benefits one are going to get are plenty. You cannot imagine the benefits of Starlink because they are linked to satellite. Through satellite, you get plenty of information. Nothing will go out of the view of these satellites. That's very, very important. That is possible. Life under the below the water, above the water, and on the land can be very easily tracked. And illegal fishing, one of the aspects, and poaching in the forest. No weapons here afterwards. So likewise, it is possible that AI can be very useful. Sir, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Corruption. Sir, one of my friend from Bihar, he presented a paper. How corruption enhances economic development. Corruption is the oil of growth. He was putting the argument there. There was no ethical issue. So ethical aspect, which is the crime and corruption. Crime, economic development includes that reduction in the crimes also. Data pattern of criminal activity, how it happens, how the fraud will happen, and how the environmental protection activities can be enforced. So these are the things that we see with regard to the use of artificial intelligence in economic development, particularly keeping in view the sustainable or millennium development goals. There are challenges. But we see these challenges have to be addressed. What is the ethical aspect of it? What will be the implementation way of introducing? How it is misused? We see in the WhatsApp group, many leading politicians, many people have been put into different pictures, and our finance minister telling that he invest. They're all bogus. Narayan Murthy telling in this. So they are all created through artificial intelligence. And recently, you might be having in your app also there, you see that a baby that immediately born after 10 minutes or 20 minutes, the baby starts speaking. Have you seen? आपको कहाँ पैदा होना था? मुझे तो यहाँ पर नहीं पैदा होना था, मुझे तो अदानी के घर में पैदा होना था. And that small boy speaks like this. How they use it? Artificial intelligence. This kind of challenges, misuse of this technology we have to do research in this field also. And very important is data. Database. How we have kept the database. Yeah. Question and answer. And the fairness data. Fair data is very important. So algorithms can sometimes maybe biased. Be careful about this algorithms. Whatever you are trying that it is going to generate. So job displacement. I told you there will be no job displacements due to this artificial intelligence. It is going to increase the job opportunities. So likewise, we see that in case of this job displacement, skilling, reskilling, and upskilling activities have to be done here. Digital divide. We have to stop this digital divide through artificial intelligence. If it happens, we should be very careful. And energy consumption will be very, very high. When you use this Bitcoin, using of Bitcoin, I don't know whether you are knowing about Bitcoin, digital currency, which will not come into the purview of the Reserve Bank of India. To mine the Bitcoin, you should have a powerful computer. Not only powerful computer, plenty of electricity it uses. So we should see that energy consumption, how we can reduce the energy use. So by addressing these challenges and fostering collaboration between researchers, policymakers, and even private sector, they can play a vital role in accelerating progress towards a more sustainable and equitable future.